Good evening, and thank you so much for welcoming me into your midst. And it has been a wonderful session. Rather, I must say that this is the third in succession. In fact, for the past 10 days, I was down with the seasonal fever. Probably you might find my tone cracking in the middle. Please don't misunderstand or move away. Since it is an online program, there is no contagion, that will be telecast to you. So I feel that you are safe as ever, wherever we are. And first of all, I would like to seize this up. Sorry for the interruptions and such kind of a strange noise. I would like to thank the CSI Church, first of all, for having invited me for a third time in succession. And of course, the credit goes to the director, Dr. Thomas Koshi, for inviting me. And also all the coordinators and the different dioceses I'm privileged to attend. Indeed, it's a proud privilege for me. Today I have a few assorted versions for you. I must say, it's not the real English language lesson. This time I would like to go a little bit deeper in the sense that I'm aiming. I have grade 12 and above students in my mind. So far, the last couple of lessons, I have been talking to you just like a beginner. Now I would like to move on to the intermediary level. So I hope that those who are listening to me will understand the importance of this class. And as I always say, as I initiated my first lesson with a carpe diem, the Latin phrase that sees your day. This is Miru. So good evening, namaste, namaskaram andi, andriku welcome. Okay, vanakkam. So nenu madhya madhyalo koncham telugulo maatladtanu, baki I mean, as I am conversant, briefly in 2-3 languages, I will be making use of some broken South Indian languages as well. Okay, I would like to begin this session with a parable. The Bible is well known for parables. Parables in the sense that stories with morals. There's no point in maybe talking to you or saying something, beating around the bush, but if there is a parable, if there is a story, if there is something substantial in it, you will understand. So just as you recall the stories told by your parents, as you grow old, you will recall them and the lesson and the meaning and the importance of it. And today I would like to, I told you this class will be a little higher than the last couple of lessons. This is primarily meant for little bit for graduate classes, I must say. So I'll be addressing their problems a little. So I hope you will, the juniors, maybe those who are listening to me from grade 7, 8, and 9 will be a little more, tolerant and bear with me when I talk to certain higher areas of competitive examinations and the role of Bible in which it could help us in solving those things. Number one. So today I'm going to recite the story, or probably the verse in Matthew chapter 13, KJV version. The sower. Sower means the farmer who sows the seeds. A sower went out to sow his seed. Listen to me carefully. A sower went out to listen, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured, and some fell upon the rock, and as soon as it was sprung up, it withered away because it lacked moisture. It didn't have roots. So St. Matthew chapter 13, that teaches us a very important lesson. That's primarily, I must say, that this is the core of my lecture. I've been talking to you. మూడు నాలుగు క్లాసులో మీతో మాట్లాడుతున్నాను అన్నమాట. అంటే ఎంత మాత్రం మీ మనసులో ఇది వచ్చింది అని నాకు తెలియదు. I do not know how much is absorbed. But one thing is certain. In spite of all the difficulties and all the busy schedule you have, if you can spare a little time, and I'm sure that Bible will give you the answer to all your needs and questions. And this particular paragraph will emphasize the purpose of being on this show. The sower, I'm talking to you, and I'm sure that I'm talking to about 130 students from across the South India. Okay, that's quite indeed. And when I talk to you, I'm sure that will be received maybe in different concentration, in different perspective, in different ways. First, I heard this thing many times. Sometimes you say, okay, what else is there to talk about? And I know these things. And these are the attitudes you must do away with. These are the attitudes you must do away with, no matter what I say or what your teacher or the person teaches you says. So the sower went to sow the seeds. The sower, the man who sows the seed, വിതയ്ക്കുന്നവൻ. He went on disseminating the seeds, scattering the seeds, and some fell on the rock, no water, no roots, it dried up. Some fell by the wayside. I mean, birds picked it up and devoured it. Oro vakalum, every word, every sentence is important as far as the language is concerned. So please pay attention to what we say and make a note of those things, and so that you can refer to it as I am through with the business. And it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. So just like the sower, I'm sowing the seeds, and then I'm sure some of you will definitely imbibe it, understand it, practice it, and reap rich rewards. You will have a bumper harvest provided you follow the Bible to the letter. And this is your last call for you, carpe diem. And I must tell you, this is your last call for you, because every person has its own day, and this is your last bus. And if you don't get it, you'll miss it. Okay, so this message or this particular parable, I have chosen to tell you that this is very important as far as your career or your life is concerned. So let it fall in the right place, where it can grow, where you should water, where you should nurture, and so that you will reap rich rewards. And that's what we say. And by the way, those who can unmute and answer me this question, what do you mean by the seed? I mean, I know degree wall, I mean, maybe you are in grade 10, 11, 12 and degree first year, or maybe you are even more educated, maybe postgraduates or doctorates. But what do you mean by the seed of what do you mean by the seed? Anybody, quick. No time. I don't know anybody personally. తొందరగా చెప్పండి, ఎవరైనా మీరు వింటుంటే చెప్పండి. మీరు సీడ్ అంటే ఏంటి? సీడ్ కా మతలబ్ క్యా హై? సీడ్ అంటే అర్థం ఎంతాడు? జల్దీ.
Chat box, it is written knowledge.
Knowledge. The word of, very good.
Heaven.
Word, excellent. Word of God. Word of God. That is what we call seed. This is the word of God that you received today. And you have a seed. With that seed, you are going to sow, and you will reach rich rewards. And that is the initial point. You know, since we are not concentrating on one particular point, I have a group of, it's an assorted session, I must say, because I have a lot of things to share with you. Okay, I mean, matter kadu. I mean, with this, I have to share with you many things. So let me just leave it that way. On to the first point of my lecture today is I would like to introduce to you the three different metaphor, simile, and personification. I told you this lecture will be a little bit higher than the normal one. The last couple of lectures have been of mediocre stuff, and that was meant for the lower sessions. But this time, I would like to just go a little higher. So metaphor and simile. How do you get metaphor and simile from the Bible? That's quite simple. Metaphor, what is metaphor? If you think that somebody is the same, somebody is exactly the same, there is no comparison. Comparison, comparing, you are comparing, your teeth look like jasmine and your smile looks like the moonshine, etc. So like, and, like, than, as, etc. are called simile. Like, for example, from the Bible, you can say St. Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, you are the salt. What is the difference? I said like, and I said, you are the salt. There is the difference. So that is metaphor. Metaphor in the sense that we take you as the salt of the earth, but not like the salt. That is simile. If you find like, as, then, it is simile. I hope you understand. Okay. And what is the difference between metaphor and simile? There is no like, no than is better than, no as, and no like. He said he is behaving like he is behaving like an animal. He is behaving like a monkey. That is simile. But he is a monkey, meaning that is metaphor. Metaphor means we take that some object is the same as the one we think of. So there are many examples I can give you. We are the clay and you are our potter. We are the clay and you are the potter. Christ is the potter and we are the clay. And the clay is given to him so that he can mold us the way he wants us to be. That's important. So you are the clay. That is metaphor. And if I say you are like the clay, that is simile. Simple as that. So Bible has a lot of things. In fact, I must say that the most translated and the most printed book in the world is Bible. What's the reason? It is in great demand, both physically and mentally. Physically, we need recharging every day. Mentally, we need a lot of mental happiness, peace, solace, happiness. And that's exactly the Bible has in store for you. So today I'm looking at metaphor, simile, and personification. Personification, what is personification? Personification means a non-living object no, or living shape. I mean, at a non-living object. For example, you see, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 55, personification, to show, O death, where is thy sting? O death, where is thy sting? Maraname ninde mulla. So the death is picturized as a person. O death, that is personification. Personifying, giving the shape and giving the meaning to non-living things. So I have taught you three different literary aspects today. This is what I told you a short while ago, that I'll be just moving a little higher. But I'm not going to the highest level. Probably, if you are, I don't know how many of you are listening to me now, probably those who are intending to take the examination or civil service examination, all India examinations, I have one segment for them, which I will come to you later, maybe in the 7th or 6th point. Okay, here, the first point today I would like to disseminate. I would like to scatter to you is how to identify a metaphor, a simile, and a personification. It's quite simple. The Bible has the answer. You don't have to buy any guide or anybody's. I mean, everything is given in the Bible. It's an answer. This is probably a remedy to all your solutions, all your problems. So I'm sure that you will take a maximum advantage of this great book. This is, I am the truth, I am the way and the life. I'm the truth, I'm the way and the life. And this teaches you exactly what you are here on this earth for. Okay, so I shall give you a few more examples and move on to the second one. So metaphor is something you think that you are the salt. That is metaphor. You are the light of the world, and he who follows me will not walk in darkness. He who follows me will not walk in darkness. You are the light. If you are with God, you are the light. That's great. If you are lit, you will definitely lit somebody else. One candle can lit thousands of candles. That is the message given to you. This is the advantage of being a part of Christianity today. I don't believe in nominal Christianity. I believe in practicing Christianity. Why? America is well ahead of the rest of the nations, more than 200 nations on earth. But why America is well ahead of us? The reason is simple. They are learning by doing things, not learning by listening. They are the pioneers. Whatever we achieve, whatever we have enjoyed or enjoy, they are the inventors. They are the discoverers. This is the reason. So Bible teaches you, gives you a new path, a new arena, a new legacy, something that you can feel proud of. And that is the reason why Jesus said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. Except through me, nobody reaches the destination. It's absolutely right. Okay, I hope it's clear for grade 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, those who are listening to me from school students. So I've been metaphor, simile, and personification. Metaphor endanu? Metaphor metaphor is we think that something is Peter, thou art rock. That is the biggest example. Peter, thou art rock. You are the rock. He didn't say you are like the rock, but you are the rock. That is metaphor. If he said, yeah, the Peter, you are like a rock, that is simile. Yes. And on this rock, I shall build my church. On this rock, that is personification. That is great. So no other books teaches you. This is the why. This is the reason why even after 2000 years, the most prosperous religion on earth is Christianity. Can you contradict it? No other religion. All other religion is subsiding. All other religion. Some of them vanished from the earth. But still the most one in great demand is Christianity. So that is one aspect. Now let me just move on to the second aspect, is it, which is Indianisms in English. We speak many languages, and I have been listening. And children from different diaspora speak different languages. I speak a different language. I don't sound like a native English speaker. I'm an Indian, and my basic language is entirely different from what you are supposed to hear. Indianisms. English law, the Indianism set because I study, I did my degree in Andhra Pradesh. So I know I'm familiar with some of the words and phrases they use, North Indians, this is Indianism, so avoid it. If you want to be, Indian English law, change on the matter, because nobody understands you if you go out of this India, because there are 199 or other nations outside, and I'm sure that those who are listening to me will be traveling abroad in the days or years ahead. So make sure you don't use Indianisms in English, because it is understood by early Indians. and you don't black money, white money, that is Indian. Kala dhan, safed dhan. Uska matlab kya hai? Hmm? Nallaga undu So that's not English. They black money or white money. It must be said that ill-gotten wealth, illegal wealth. It's not white money. White money is why Indian 100 rupee note is white, or white is black, or white is red. I don't know. But that is paka Indianism, because Hindi बोलने वाले आदमी जो है हिंदी में अपना idea बोलता है. So इसलिए now I'll give you about 10 examples where you can correct and where you don't repeat it. Okay. I mean about 10. Normally, when you meet a North Indian, he'll ask, "Aapka shubh naam kya hai?" You know, my name is Uman, and the coordinator's name is Matthew Koshi. So, what is good in that name? That is the best name our father or our parents could give us. So, "Aapka shubh naam kya hai?" ये पूछने के जरूरी नहीं है. You can ask your name, please. May I know your name? You don't have to ask what is your good name. But I mean, I'm talking to quite a good number of students. So I can say, what's your good name? That is Paka Indian. It is not accepted everywhere, elsewhere. Once you go out, you don't have to ask, what's your good name? What's your name? Or may I know your name? Okay. Tell me your first name. Tell me your second name. That's okay. Instead, ఇలాగా అడగకూడదు అన్నమాట. మీ మంచి పేరేంటి? అన్ని పేర్లు మంచి పేరు అన్నమాట. So you don't have to ask what's your good name. Second, prepon. Prepon. I have listed about 200, even more than 200. I'm just quoting only 10 because there are sessions exclusive meant for that. Prepon. In India, we use the word prepon. That is not in English. This is Paka Indian English. Prepon. There is no such word, because we normally use postpone. Postpone angane varunu. Okay, then prepone, postpone. Yeah, pre-degree, postgraduate. With that idea, we say it is. There's no English as prepone. We should use can we advance it. एक हफ्ता पहले कर सकता. Can we advance by 1 week? Advance, not prepone. Or we can say, can we have the meeting earlier? But never use the word prepone. It is not accepted. It is un-English. Third one. Where is so Chelsea? Oh, she is out of station. Out of station. But out of station is Paka Indian. Out of town is British. Out of town. I've been out of town, not out of station. Out of station. And when I open your audio, the next one, number 4, many of you ask me, చాలా మంది I mean నేతో మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు నాకు ఒక డౌట్ ఉంది. డౌట్ కాదు, question, query. I have a question to ask you. I have a query, not doubt. That word is not properly used. And sometimes we say my English is weak, not your English. I am weak in English. That must be a better expression. Not I am weak in English. My English is weak. Okay. Next, I will intimate you. I will intimate you. We often use that word. You can, example, you can say instead of I will intimate you, that is not good English. It's better you say I shall check it out and inform you. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Not intimate you. Intimate has a different meaning altogether. So these are the words you should do away with when you want to go abroad, study in America, England, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, or any other English-speaking country. These are the words you should do away with. And also, a few more advice. When you go out, please don't ask anybody's salary, whether they are married or unmarried, or such kind of personal questions should be warded away. I mean, should be done away with. Okay, my English is weak. You must say that I am weak in English. Next one. Senior most, we always say senior most member in the department. That's the wrong usage. The most senior, that is the correct way it should be used. Most senior. He's the most senior person in my department. Don't say he's the senior most. You are putting the cart before the horse. Don't put the cart before the horse. Put the horse before the cart. Okay, next one. I'm going to have today evening. I'm going to have a lesson today evening. English people never say today evening. They will say this evening, this morning, this evening. I'm going to, I got a call from my friend this morning. Don't say today morning. Okay, that is Paka translation, you know. We are trying to translate Malayalam, English, Hindi into English. So this evening, okay. Yesterday evening, no, last evening. Don't say yesterday evening I met my friend. Last evening. Today morning, no, this morning. This night, tonight, tonight. That should be the way. And as I said earlier, black money, white money. Don't use it. That's Paka Hindi. Hindi. Those who speak Hindi, they have the habit of introducing Hindi into English. Okay, they say black money, kala dhan, safed dhan. Kala dhan, safed nahi hai, both ill-gotten wealth, illegal wealth, illegitimate. You can use any other word. And the most funny word I have come across in India is wanted. W-A-N-T-E-D, wanted. നമ്മൾ പറയും wanted, wanted അല്ല, wanted. Wanted എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ wanted bride, wanted bridegroom. But wanted in Western countries means you have committed a crime and you decamped and your police are looking for it. So we are not looking for or searching for a bride or a bridegroom or a post. You say if there is any vacancies, don't say wanted. Wanted means you are wanted in connection with a crime. That's not the correct meaning. So this I follow the most of the newspapers I see wanted groom, wanted bridegroom, wanted lecturer, wanted CEO. So why they are wanted? They haven't committed any crime. In spite of that, we declare the wanted. So wanted is a wrong word. Try to use it looking for vacancies. Looking for vacancies. Okay, and the vacancies available, etc. Then the other common things. I'm also suffering from under the weather. That means the fever. So we say a running nose. It is not a running nose because nose doesn't run. It is runny nose. We often, I have heard hundreds. We often say, doctor, for the past couple of weeks, రెండు రోజులంతా నేను నాకు ఒడంబు సరియల్ల టెంపరేచర్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది అందుకోసం మీరు నాకు నిద్ర రావట్లేదు మూకులో నుంచి నాకు it's not running nose, it is runny nose. So make sure this is the advantage of having Bible with us, that you will be the correct person. So make sure you speak good English and Bible is there with you, isn't it? So as I said in my first lecture, you must not sniff around looking for ideas. It is there in the Bible, the richest reservoir of knowledge, the richest reservoir of knowledge, reservoir of knowledge, the mine of knowledge, the treasure of knowledge, the treasure trove of knowledge, the Bible, nothing else. And if you master it, I'm sure nobody can stand you. This is what you have to teach your children. And the Christian children are privileged because they are Christians, and you have the access to the Bible. Okay, and next I'll give you a couple of, I have more, but that doesn't permit me to go through the Indian English. Indian English is something I enjoy most. I enjoy teaching because it is funny, because how we people use the language not in the right context. Next one is discuss. We often say we are going to discuss about. Never use about with discuss. We are going to discuss the problems. concerning. Never say discuss about. Say discuss. Discuss doesn't follow. No preposition comes after discuss. So you say, I have discussed your problem with the headmaster, with the principal. I have discussed the problem with the head teacher or with the parish priest, etc. Discussed. Okay. And last but not the least, the 10th one is topper. That's a highly misconstrued and misunderstood word. Even literally IAS, IPS, even that's the most misunderstood word. It is used only in India. Topper. Topper is a wrong word. You look it up in the dictionary, Advanced Learner's Dictionary. Topper means a top hat. Top hat. It doesn't mean that you have scored the highest in your marks. It is absolutely wrong. It's a wrong notion. Never use topper. Topper is a wrong word. Pakka Indian. It will not be understood by anybody out if you go out India. Topper. Topper is a IAS topper, IPS topper. It is not topper. You can say first position, second position, or he came first or something, some other way. Never use the word topper. Topper means it's a hat worn on your head. Topper. Or somebody earns a living and eking out a living by selling caps, it's a topper. So I have given you, is the tip of the iceberg, just 10 simple un-English words used by Indians whenever they go, wherever they go, whatever they do. Okay, right. And the third aspect, let me see the time. Right, we have time, no problem. 7:10. The next one I would like to take you to is pronunciation. That is where we all fall behind, Ante chala matuku problem enti ante pronunciation problem vata. Etlaga pronounce cheyalu danenti very simple. There are different areas. Now, English law pronunciation means a little bit rhythm undalli. Every language has a tune, a rhyme, or a rhythm. Everything has got a rhythm, tune. What is a rhythm? Word stress. For example, when we say, okay, every word has a tune in the sense verb, noun, adjective, adverb, etc. If you say industry, the second syllable, industry. Education, not education. Education. Then the most mispronounced word is environment. Environment, not environment, not environment. Environment. You have to stress it, split it. Environment. Then it's not a pronunciation, it is pronunciation. Pronunciation. The spelling is Pronuncaation. Okay. Even in names, if you go to Kerala, you say you have a Kumaran. If you go to Tamil Nadu, you have a Kumaran. Kumaran and Kumaran. Kumaran is in Malayalam and Kumaran is in anyway, something interesting is there is one name that can be pronounced in different ways, and you will hear it from the way I pronounced Kamala Hassan and Kamal Hassan. It becomes, the pronunciation will change his religion as well. Kamala Hassan becomes a Hindu name, and Kamal Hassan becomes a Muslim name. So pronunciation carries a lot of things, and you have to remember how these words are pronounced and how to get it. Listen, watch television, good channels. Which are the channels? Okay, BBC, okay, Nat Geo, Discovery, okay, and the HBO. These are some of the channels you have to watch. That's I sincerely advise you to watch and follow their pronunciations. Then next is pronunciation. I can't finish it. I'm just giving you the tip a little bit so that you will pay more attention to it. అంటే ఇది మొత్తం చదవడం అంటే డిఫికల్టీ అనమాట. కొంచెం కొంచెం మీకు ఇస్తుంటే మీరు అది దాని గురించి మీరు ఇంటర్నెట్లో చూసుకొని మీరు చదవాలన్నమాట. Number 2 aspect is most mispronounced word or letters in English. There are 26 letters, 26 letters. చాలా మందిలో ఇది లెటర్స్ చెప్పకూడదు. వాళ్ళు ఏమంటారంటే 26 alphabets പറയാറുണ്ട്. That's wrong. It's not alphabets. Alphabet is a combination of 26 letters together, but we in the English alphabet we have 26 letters. 26 letters make up the English alphabet. And I would like to introduce to you or bring to your notice 5 most mispronounced letters. Indians, we don't pronounce those words correctly or those letters correctly. And listen to me carefully. Okay, number 1. We say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. The problem with our teachers is that we simply say or we just mispronounce and teach our children the wrong way, and eventually they don't get English right. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that's how we say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z or Z. Okay, that's it. But about 5 words I have seen most of the Indians mispronounce, not words, letters. The first one is H. Many of us pronounce H, H. No, it should be H, H. And in many words, H is silent. H is silent in many words, like honest, honor, hour, vehicle, annihilation, etc. So H is a word you should be careful about. What, when, where, all H is there, but it's not pronounced. So H is a word you must be watchful about. Next one is O. We simply put our lips round and say O. Is oh, so, no, hope, no, hope alla, hope, most. You have to pronounce and practice it in the right way. And the next letter is P. P, when you just use the first letter in the beginning of a word, it has to be an aspirated letter. Aspiration means said it with a force, like P, P, Peter, Peter, pepper, picked up, pickle pepper. Peter pepper picked a pecker, pickle pepper. Okay, so the first P is pronounced with an aspiration, with a little bit of explosion. Okay, people, please. But subsequent P's can be ordinary P. Okay, but the first one, please, paper, etc. So that P is not properly pronounced by non-native speakers. And the next one is R. We use R in a very rough way. R, R. You flex your tongue and don't touch the roof. You say R, read. A little war. Watch. I mean, when you pronounce that R, use V a little bit. Read, write. You are right, right. That's it. So you have to use a little bit of V in it and you get it right. Read, read and write. Don't say read and write. Read and write. Okay, ring, etc. And not sometimes, most of the time, when R comes in the end of a word, it's not pronounced. in most cases, until the next word begins with a vowel sound, like power, driver, park, garden is a middle portion also, R in the middle. Park, garden, okay? And last one, driver, paper, gutter, liver, etc. So R must be very careful. You must be very careful about it. And the most mispronounced mostly is the letter V. V. V is very important. But how do you pronounce it? We don't differentiate between V and W. We both say wow, not wow. This is a V, lower lip touching the upper denture. V, I have. This is the reason I gave you the song, I have a dream. Not I have a dream. I have a dream. I have. Okay? Movement. It's not a movement. Movement. So V is pronounced with a F and V. That's important. So V is definitely the most mispronounced word by Indians. We must say, I have a dream. Don't say, I have a dream. I have, lower lip touching the upper denture. I have a dream. I have a dream. I think I gave you Abba's song. I don't know how many of you practiced it. You play it and try to sing along and then follow it. Okay, that's the 5 letters. Most, differently pronounced words. Okay, next is HOPRV. Now, why pronunciation? Next point is why pronunciation is very important. What is the reason? What is the reason behind it? Because in English, the problem is one letter has got many pronunciations. One letter. This is not so in South Indian language, in Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, or Malayalam. It's not the same. But in English, one letter has many pronunciations. Like let's say, for example, A. 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 Look at this sentence. These words: A-B-O-U-T. Bout. We don't say about, but I submerge the A and emphasize the B. Bout. Neither. A dress. And another term, A-R-Y. A-R-Y, sometimes A is not pronounced. Not only sometimes, most of the time, A-R-Y, E-R-Y. I will give you a few examples. When you say primary, secondary, ordinary, dictionary, not dictionary, not primary, not secondary. So A and E is silent. It is something you have to observe. Dictionary, primary, secondary. Okay, right. And then comes A has A has about 8 to 10 different pronunciations. This is something you have to observe. The letter A has different phonemes or different pronunciation. One such pronunciation is village, V-I-L-L-A-G-E. So you have A-G-E is there again. So A-G-E meaning age. Village, no village. Mileage, no mileage. Cabbage, no cabbage. College, no college. So this is important. College, mileage, cabbage, okay, village, etc. Then A has got different pronunciation, like A-P-E-X, apex ultima. We often say apex ultima. It's not a apex ultima, it is a apex ultima. Apex ultima. So you have to bear in mind that one letter has many pronunciations, many phonemes, many variations, different ways of pronouncing it. This is something you have to observe or make. And the next is A has different meaning: bad, man, etc. Bad. In Michael Jackson's, there's an album called Bad. I'm bad. He didn't say I'm bad or I am bad. I'm bad. So that sound is very important. Then sometimes A is literally absent in these words. Park, park, garden. Okay. Then AR sound is there. AIR, AIR, AIR. Okay. So these three, these are some of the words. Some of the words I would like to draw your attention. And finally, when I talk about pronunciation, pronunciation can change the meaning of a word. It can make it a noun or a verb or an adjective simply by pronouncing. Look at these words. Conduct. I'm conducting a class. And the same word, the same spelling can be used to denote behavior. Conduct. 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 Conduct is good behavior. Change the meaning. One becomes noun, conduct, verb, and conduct, noun. Next is project. This is the most mispronounced word. Project. I'm working on a new project. Okay. And then project. Project means to show. Projecting. Project means a work assigned to you. Similarly, you have two other words like minute, the same spelling, but you can say minute. It becomes noun and it is time. Minute, adjective, minute, time. Then you have invalid. Invalid means adjective, not valid, uncounted. Then you have the same word can be used. Invalid means physically challenged, physically handicapped. Invalid, the same word. So remember, when you talk about, when you use these words, you must pronounce it correctly. I'm not going deep into that. I've just given you some tips, some ideas, so that you can work on it, you can inquire about it using your internet facility. And now, the next one. Well, I don't know. People ask me, what are the ways to improve your words or sentences or your language? Number one, the best way is to converse, to use the language, to talk. And the second is to sing the song. Singing songs will definitely help you. Well, may I request the technical assistant to show me the song by Jim Reeves. The world is not my, this world is not
Sir,
my
that
home.
is not possible. Technical assistant is not there.
Not there. Okay, leave it. No problem. So I should just give you a simple about 5 to 6 lines I shall sing. That's quite important. All of you, please note down. And if you can just find out Jim Reeves. Jim Reeves is one of the best singers. He was one of the Hollywood singers and spiritual singers as well. So Jim Reeves, this world is not my home. So singing along karaoke will help you improve your pronunciation. I can just give you a couple of stanzas. I'm not a good singer, but I can simply go through. So that the advantage of singing a song is that you don't say or pronounce a word by word. Instead, the whole line as a single piece. See, I mean, a couple of stanzas I shall sing. This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blues. Angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I've no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Thank you. It's appearing on your monitor, as you can sing along if you want. This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blues. The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I've no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, then Lord, what will I do? The angels beckon me from heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. So that's how you can practice. So there are good songs, Christmas songs and spirituals by Jibris. Try to practice, sing along. They play it many times. That will definitely help you overcome the difficulty of pronunciation, particularly English pronunciation. Okay, I leave it there. Now, I move on to another section. I told you I have collected it bits and pieces, different uses. I mean, I'm going to a little higher level. I told you earlier that I have been talking about the higher secondary level. Now, I'm just moving a little higher. In English, you have to bear in mind that certain words go with certain words. We often use the common words very, nice, good, thing, etc. But native speakers don't use these words very often. They use instead specific words. We call it as collocation. One word should go with something similar to that. But we say nice, one word. We know the meaning of nice. Acha, manchidi. Okay, manchi food, manchi cloth, manchi manishi. So they don't say that manchi all the time. They say nice people. They don't say nice people. Friendly people, helpful people. Then if you talk about food, you can say, a hearty meal. Okay, useful, expensive meal. Okay, then something, you can use some other word that can describe the word. So this is called collocation. We are not aware of that. Collocation means words that will describe some other words. So try not to use these following words every now and then. Instead, use some good, meaningful words. Which are the words you must avoid when you write or speak English? Nice, thing, good, very. Okay, nice. These are all useless words, I must say. Instead, you should use some meaningful words. When you talk about a cloth, maybe a t-shirt. Oh, you can say a modern t-shirt, an expensive t-shirt. Okay, a costly t-shirt, something like that. A food, you can say a nutritious food, an expensive food. Okay, a tasty food, etc., etc. Try to use some descriptive words in relation to the word that you use. So try to avoid nice, thing, good, very in your ordinary speeches or sentences. Don't use it because it doesn't fit you. And particularly when you are appearing for examinations, IELTS, TOEFL, OET, or any online interview from abroad, don't use this nice, thing, good, very, something, some, etc. Be specific, be meaningful, be relevant. Okay, I can give you a few examples, 10 examples. Where should we see? In the Bible, we see St. John chapter 26, 6. Chapter 26, verse 6. What do you say? Cast the net on the right side of the ship. Cast the net. He doesn't say, or the chapter doesn't say, throw your net. It says, cast your net. So the word is relevant. It is more meaningful when you say, cast your net. Don't say, throw your nest. Next one. When you talk about decisions, don't say, take a decision. Make a decision. Make a decision. I have made a decision. Don't I have taken a decision? No. Make the bed, not do the bed, or make the bed. Suppose when you get up in the morning, make sure you fold your bed sheets and put the pillows in order and keep your bed, make the bed. Then suppose if you comb your hair, dye your hair, or replenish your hair, you can say do the hair, cut your hair. Do the dishes. Don't say clean the dishes. I've been doing the dishes for my mother. Don't say I've been cleaning the dishes. I've been doing the dishes. Then take the examination, not give an examination. These are all common mistakes because we always use our mother tongue and translate it. That is the reason we are committing this mistake. Take an examination. Don't say give an examination. Have a bath. Have a bath. Okay. Then walk the dog. Walk the dog. Or take the dog for a walk. That's okay. Hitch a ride. Hitch a ride. Order a drink. Not ordered for a drink. Then suppose you are jumping a red light, you can say you run a red light. So run a red light, meaning you are crossing when you are not supposed to cross the road. So you may be fined. So you can say, I have run a red light. I have ordered a drink. Don't say ordered for a drink. Hitch a ride means taking an offer given by somebody. Can I take you to school? Yes, I have hitched a ride. Then walk a dog. One day, walk a dog. Okay, that's good. Have a bath. Not take a bath. It's better have a bath. Take an examination. Yeah, don't give an examination. Do the dishes. Wash the dishes. Do the dishes. I'm doing the dishes. Do the hair. Comb your hair. And make the bed. Make the bed. Okay? And make a decision. That's right. And those are some of the collocation or words that you must be careful about. And that will definitely help you improve your language. And Bible can give you these tips and here and there, but you must be wise. You must be careful about it. When you read a words, you must know what are the words that they use to express that. Try to use it. Don't translate your mother tongue into English. Next one. This is a little higher than the normal. I'm addressing grade 12 and degree students possibly, and those who are more qualified than the graduates. And this is particular session for civil service examinations. And they have a separate session. In the first phase of the examination is preliminary examinations. It contains two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 2 has about 80 questions, 2 hours. Paper 1 has 100 questions, 2 hours. And if you are through with the preliminary examination, then you will be invited to do the second phase, that is compulsory paper. Well, I want to talk to you about the second paper of the preliminary examination. One question carries about 2.5 marks. Okay. So, the reason why I say that more and more Christian students are migrating. They are leaving the country. It should not happen. You have enough, and you have, if there is no other alternative, go and come back. Study abroad. Come back to India. Don't spend your life because you will be lost. The next generation is also lost. This is our country. Stay within India. That's very important. That is one of the primary aims of addressing you. Okay? మీరందరూ తిరిగి రావాలన్నమాట. ఎడ్యుకేషన్ కోసం బయట వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత చాలా మందిలో అక్కడే ఉండిపోతారు. So I advise you strongly. You study. You get your degree. Get the exposure. Get the language. Get the knowledge and come back. Because you need to help your parents. You need to help your brothers and sisters. You need to help the community you belong to. మీరందరూ తిరిగి రావాలన్నమాట. This is something I have to. This is a message and this is a request. And one reason is that it is every day as days pass by, less and less people are taking civil service examination. I mean, very few people. I don't know. They are not ready. They want to go and enjoy. Okay, Canada, England, America, New Zealand. Now, what do they do there? They do all very menial job, physical jobs. Okay, and only a few are lucky, others will struggle, and after their generation, the next generation is gone. So therefore I request you, you go abroad, have the experience, see the world, and come back to India and do. And this is the place for you. This is our land. Okay. Well, with this introduction, I want to just take you to comprehension. Comprehension. Then many of you may think, most of you may think that comprehension, oh, what is there to talk about comprehension? That's not the case. So comprehension is, there are three types of comprehensions. మీరు 10th క్లాస్లో ఏం comprehension అపియర్ చేయాలి, or you take the examination? Factual. Idea is given. You don't have to break your head. Simply, 30 people died in the hockey, this disaster on the accident. So question is, how many people died? You can simply say 30 people. So you get the question. That is until grade 10. Then when you move to grade 11 and 12, we call it as inferential level. That's a little more difficult. Little more difficult. Ideas are given there, and then you have to choose, or you have to infer, or you have to arrive at a conclusion. And this is the reason. And therefore, this is the outcome. That outcome is not given there, but you have to think. That's what we call inferential. But civil service examinations, you have to prepare right from grade 12 నుంచి మీరు ఇది దీనికోసం శ్రమించాలన్నమాట. You have to, కోషిష్ తో కర్నా పడేగా. మీరు గ్రేడ్ 10 నుంచి మీరు చదవాలి, బుక్స్ రీడ్ చేయాలి, మాట్లాడగాలి, మీరు ఇంగ్లీష్ మీరు చాలా ఇంప్రూవ్ చేయాలి. సో these are some of the things you have to take care. So the third session, or the third level of comprehension, is called a little bit rational inference. It needs some logic. It needs some kind of reasoning. It's not easy. I will give you one such example from the Bible. Miranthru sasushma miru vinarandi. Just listen to this, this passage, and I will give you 4 answers. You have to answer me. So comprehension, this is a little higher level. I'm going to read out a passage from the Bible, and I have 4 questions to answer, and you are supposed to answer me immediately. Okay, switch on your video, please. Don't close the videos, because I hate talking to blank air or the. Don't switch off the video, because you are not. Who are you afraid of? You are not. This is brought to you free of cost by the church, mind you. So I want to just inspire you a little bit, give a taste of what's in store for you. Never switch off and sit. You sit in front of, as if you are in the church, listening to the talk given by any priest or any evangelist. Okay. Now answer my question. Listen carefully. Vinandi miru. I shall read the passage. It's very important. It's a story. It's a parable. Matthew chapter 25. St. Matthew chapter 25. That's a parable. I shall read out. And I will read out 4 questions. I don't have the means to show you the questions, but I will read out the questions, and you will have to say optional questions 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have to choose one answer from it. It's not easy. But if you get it, well, you have a talent. You can try. You can keep working. Okay. I shall read out the story of 5 talents. So I'm following King James Version, and Matthew chapter 25. If you have access to the Bible around, please refer to this. Unto one, and for the kingdom of heaven is a man traveling to a far country. The kingdom is compared to a man traveling to a distant country. And then what did he do? What did the man do? He called all his servants. About 3-4 servants were there. He called them. Unto one he gave 5 talents. To one person he gave 5 talents. To another, second person, he gave 2 talents. And to another, The third person, he gave 1 talent. So he called 3 people. The first person, he gave 5 talents, 5 treasures, 5 coins, 5 promises, whatever it be. Okay. Then second person, 2, and the third person, only 1. Let's see what they have done with it when they have come back from, when the person, the master has come back from, his trip outside. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same. You know, the man who got 5 talents, 5 talents, he went out, he traded, he multiplied. Then with that he made 10, another 5. So he made it bigger, increased. He was not sitting on it. And made them other 5 talents. And likewise, he that had received 2, he went out, he multiplied it, he made it 4. So first person who got 5, he made it 10. Second person who got 2, he multiplied it, he added another 2. And the third person, what did he do? But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth. What did he do? He dug a pit. He put it inside, covered with the sand. And when his master came, he said, Lord, here, I have taken care of your talent. Here it is. It's quite safe. It looks as fresh as you gave me. So there are 3 people. I have given you 3 examples. Now, my question is, this is a civil service type of question with the minimum degree of difficulty, minimum degree. I haven't applied the 3rd level, but minimum. Just listen to me, the question based on 3 examples. You understand? First person who got 5 talents, he added another 5. Second person who got 2 talents, he added another 2. The third person who got 1 talent, he did not multiply it, he returned it secured. He gave it back to his master when he came back after his journey. And my question is, this is meant for grade 11 and 12. Okay, if other students can answer, I would appreciate that. Okay, my question is, which of the following is the rational inference of the passage? Which of the following is the rational inference of the passage? Which one do you think? Nenu, I will give you four answers. Instead ee nalgo answer lo, which answer is the best answer? Okay, logical question, logical reasoning. So it's not easy. So I shall give you the 4 answers one by one. You open your audio and answer me immediately. Listen carefully. Don't keep the audio open until you want to answer my question. Number 1. So you know the story. 5 talents, he multiplied it. Second person, 2 talents, he also multiplied it. Third person got 1 and he returned it to the master. So what the question is, which of the following is the rational inference? And in the nigamanamendi. And what do you think is the moral of the story? What do you think you are supposed to learn from these 3 people? దానికోసం 4 ఆన్సర్లు మీరు ఇక్కడ నేను రాయించాను అన్నమాట. Number 1, listen carefully. People should take good care of their assets without being greedy. People should take good care of their assets without being greedy. People should take good care of their assets without being greedy. Okay, that is the first answer. Second answer, successful people are those who make proper use of their natural abilities. Successful people are those who make proper use of their natural abilities. Okay, number C, that is third option. It is one's own choice whether one should multiply one's talents. It is one's own choice whether one should multiply one's talents. And the last one, the fewer one's goals are, the easier one's life is. The fewer one's goals are, the easier one's life is. So you have 4 answers. The difficulty level is a little difficult, I know. So you have to use your kidney. What kidney? Or your brains, okay? You have to use your brains to understand the question. I will go through the 4 answers once again. You may choose only one chance. You answer only one. You have to choose A, B, C, D. You choose A, B, C, D. Which is the correct answer? The question is, which of the following is the rational inference of the passage? I shall go through the 4 questions once again because this is meant for students of higher classes, 11, 12 and above. People should take good care of their assets without being greedy. People should take good care of their assets, but shouldn't be greedy. That's one interpretation. Second, successful people are those who make proper use of their natural abilities. Successful people are those who make proper use of their natural abilities born with. Okay, number C. It is one's own choice whether one should multiply one's talents. It is one's own choice whether one should multiply one's talents. Number 4. The fewer one's goals are, the easier one's life is. The fewer one's goals are, the easier one's life is. Now, open to you. Anybody? One. Yes. Open your. Which answer is correct? Yes. Angel. I think she's called B. Yes. And Johanna Jacob B. And Nandana B. Okay. And Jackie B. Tejas B. Okay. VDC Pramila B. Alan Jacob B. Okay, Donakel and when okay, B. All that's correct. You hit the bullseye. I must say B is the correct answer. It's not enough that you have this. Anyway, I'm happy that I'm talking to some sensible students of CSI Church. And I'm sure that you are in the making of somebody. So please make sure your answer is quite right. There are 4 possible answers. This is the least difficult one. I mean, I didn't want to make this question even more difficult, but I just prepared it exclusively for you to give a taste of what should be the nature of questions you are going to face in case you appear for any national or state examinations. Okay, that's good. All of you got it right. May God bless you all. And I'm sure that all of you have the making of a big leader in you. So make use of this opportunity and study well, read books, be in the know of things, read newspapers, and talk to people, improve your language, read the Bible, and that will definitely refurbish your knowledge as well. Okay, thank you. And now I am on to the next one. We have another 30-40 minutes, and we have another important session, another part, sixth point, and we have maybe some announcement and question answer session, final session as well. So the next one is a little bit of grammar. Okay, so I have given you comprehension, and I have given you the difficulty level and the type of question, the simplest one. It is not the difficult. The difficult ones will be really difficult for you. You'll have to spend maybe 15-20 minutes answering this question. That will take time. But I just give you a model and a sample. Okay, the next one, the 6th point I would like to drive home is the 10 commandments. The 10 commandments. Okay. You know the 10 commandments. Commandments means order, warning given by our Lord. Okay. And if you read a few commandments, you will come across one particular word often used. ఆ 10 commandments లో ఒక word మీరు చాలా serious గా చదవాలన్నమాట. I shall read the first or 2-3 commandments. Number 1, you shall not kill. You shall not kill. Number 2, you shall not steal. దొంగతనం చేయకూడదు. చంపకూడదు. Okay? Then you shall not worship false gods. False gods. So you shall not kill, you shall not steal, you shall not worship false gods. And I would like to concentrate the use of shall today. That's grammar. Where to use shall, where to use will. This is a problem. Even educated people don't use it properly. And in modern English, shall and will have the same place. Mostly, we have given away shall because we feel that, oh, that's చాలా డిఫికల్ట్, అది చదివేందుకు అంటే ఏమి ఉపయోగం లేదు, దానికోసం just leave it. But I would say shall has its own advantage, shall and will. Now, let me just concentrate on shall and will. సరిగా వినండి మీరు. Listen carefully. Modern English law, shall and will have almost the same meaning. Correct? Agreed? But shall and will have future meaning only when we use it with I and we. That is the first difference. So shall and will have future reference only when, yes, Berlin, bless you, correct, thank you. Yes, shall and will have future meaning only when we use it with the first person, like I and we. I shall go there, we shall go there, no problem. Equivalent to we will go there. I shall talk to the principal, equivalent to we will talk to, I will talk to the principal. So will and shall will have same meaning, future reference, only when we use it with I and we. First person తో మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు మాకు future meaning I and we is the same, no difference. మాఫీ ఫరక్, అందులో డిఫరెన్స్ ఏమీ లేదు అనమాట. సో I and we will have the same meaning. I will go there, I will do it, equivalent to I shall do it, I shall go there, no problem. Is it clear? Okay, but never imagine shall will have the same meaning if you use with the second and third person. Baki person తో యూస్ చేసినప్పుడు shall will have different meaning. Keep the video on, please. Don't switch off the video. Keep the video always on, because these are all interactive sessions. Don't think of this is not something that you are listening. We want to have interactive sessions. In fact, I am used to interact with students, not with any blank space or any wall. So listen carefully. Shall, where to use shall? So shall future meaning ఎప్పుడు వస్తుంది? Only when you use with I and we. Okay, write it down. Now shall ఇంకా ఏంటి మీనింగ్, ఇంకా ఎట్లాగా మీనింగ్ ఉంది? What are the other meanings of shall? Now you have to see what are the other meanings. Shall will not give you the future meaning if you use with he, she, they, you, it, etc. No future, only with I and we. That's the first condition. Now shall ekkada use చేస్తారు, చేయొచ్చు. Shall any word future లో అంటే ఎక్కడ దాని ఉపయోగం ఏంటి, ఎట్లా యూస్ చేయాలి? Number 1, shall is used. రాయండి మీరు, please note down, write down. Shall is used with suggestions. When you want to suggest something, but now you are tired of listening to me, maybe Moses or Tejas or Jackie or maybe Sneha, or somebody wants to say, excuse me sir, shall we have a break? Shall we have a break? Suggestion. Shall we have a cup of tea? Shall we go and spend some time in the library? Okay, shall be, suggestions. So when you want to suggest something, you can use shall. Shall we wait here for some time? Shall we change the music? Shall we change the channel? Shall we read the Bible? Shall we talk to the uncle? Etc. Shall we meet him? Okay, shall. Second, prediction. Prediction. Ante what is in store for you? Prediction. Maybe next week, maybe you have booked a ticket to go to Dubai, or maybe Thailand, or maybe Hong Kong, or London, or Istanbul, or anywhere. So you can say this week, prediction. Prediction means predict చేయడం. అంటే నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ లో ఏమవుతుంది, ఎక్కడ ఉంటారు, అది ప్రెడిక్ట్ చేయాలనుకుంటూ మీరు ఇది ఈ సెంటెన్స్ రాయండి మీరు. దిస్ టైమ్ నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ I shall be in Hyderabad. This time next week, I shall be in Guntur. This time next week, I shall be at Palakkad. Okay, right. This time next week. వచ్చే హఫ్తా, నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ లో ఇది సమయంలో ఈ సమయంలో నేను ఎక్కడ ఉండాం, హైదరాబాద్, మేబీ పాలకోడ్, or నర్సాపూర్, or నిడదవోలు, గుంటూరు. Okay, these places. Okay, next one. Another example, write it down. This will clear your doubts with regard to shall and will. Next one, the year 2025 shall be the most prosperous year for India. The year 2025. The year 2025 shall be the most successful year for India. Prediction. We all read foretell, what the stars foretell. What will you be after 22 years? The year 2025, I shall be in London. The year 2030, I shall be in Canberra. Okay, so I shall be in Nidadavolu. I shall be in Guntur, or Nellore, or Coimbatore, anywhere. So that's very important. Prediction. And number 4. And number 3, I think. Number 3. You use shall in order to give order, command, determination. Order. Police officers, authorities, order. ఇచ్చినప్పుడు మీరు ఆర్డర్ చేయాలి, వాడు కమాండ్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్, మీరు ఎగ్జామ్ రాయడానికి ఎగ్జామ్ హాల్లో వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఇన్విజిలేటర్ ఏం చెప్తారు? There shall be no talking in the hall. There shall be no talking. There shall be no talking. That's a warning. It's a warning. There shall be no talking. You shall not talk. You shall not use the mobile telephone. Okay? You shall not. Use చేయకూడదు, చెప్పకూడదు, మాట్లాడకూడదు. అంటే you are prohibited. You are banned. And if you disobey, action will be taken against you. This is important. Okay? Right. Next one. Attendance shall be taken before the start of the state test. Attendance shall be taken. That's a rule. Then in the Bible we can say, you shall not steal. దొంగతనం చేయకూడదు. You shall not steal. No, you shall not. It's a command, order from the God. The Lord is giving you an order that you shall not steal. We say, you should not steal. No, you shall not steal. That's an order, command. Then threat, bhishani, threatening tone. Next one, I don't know. Threatening tone. What is threatening tone? I don't know how many of you seen Sholay. Sholay film chusara meeru? कम लोग, हमने आपने शोले फिल्म देखा? बहुत पुराना फिल्म है. उसमें एक डायलॉग है. A dialogue, I will say it in Hindi and I shall translate it in English as well, and that will give you threatening tone, bhishani, frightening tone. In Sholay, in that film, there is a character called what's his name? Amjad Khan. Amjad Khan talking to Sanjeev Kumar. Both are dead, maybe even before your parents were born. This was released years ago. a very old film. Okay, the dialogue is Amjad Khan is a bandit, Donga no. He will be arrested by the police officer Sanjay Kumar. Then there is a dialogue. दुनिया के किसी जेल में मेरे दुनिया के किसी जेल में मेरे को 40 साल तक रोक नहीं सकता, तुम पछताओगे ठाकुर. दुनिया के किसी जेल में मेरे को 40 साल तक रोक नहीं सकता, तुम पछताओगे ठाकुर. It's a bhishani. It is a threat that no jail in India can stop me for 40 years, incarcerate me in 40 years, for 40 years. And I shall come out and take revenge on you. Bhishani, threatening tone, frightening. Ante chevikinullikyo, pinch your ear and feel that. Ante I will take. And finally, what does it imply? Meaning you shall regret. You shall regret. That is the meaning of it. Okay, you shall regret. That is the meaning given here. You shall regret. So it doesn't mean that you will regret. Everybody will regret, but it is a threat that you shall regret. It's a bhishani. It's a threat. It's a frightening tone. You remember me. You will pay for this. That's the meaning. So threatening tone is also given by shall. And the next is a promise. Promise. This is a promise Jesus gave to the person who died on the cross. Who is the other thief? You shall be with me in heaven. Shall be. You will be with me. Shall, it's a promise. I shall, maybe you have borrowed a book from your friend. You are not returning it. Don't cry, man. I shall return it. Don't cry. I shall return it. Maybe you want a mobile telephone. Oh, you are asking your father. So one day he will say, okay, if you do well in your exam, I shall buy you a telephone. I shall buy you a telephone. That's it. Okay. So shall gives you suggestions, prediction, order, threat, promise. Okay. And finally, shall can also give you legal tone. Legal. In our constitution, document law, title deed law, bylaws law, rules and regulations, shall. Shall is the word that you use. For example, in the constitution, document, maybe your own father, let me take an example from Dornacle Diocese. I think, I don't know, the student's name. What's your name? Dornacle Diocese. Can you open your audio and tell me your name? Anybody? Quick. Sneha. Yes. Okay. Imagine that Sneha's father wants to give her a property, maybe 10 cents or maybe 15 cents, very close to a very important area. So he will write in the document that my daughter Sneha shall inherit the property of 10 cents next to the railway station. Railway station daggre unna 10 cents nenu na kutruku istunnanu. That's it. So that's it. That is the legal meaning. If you write in a document, register, constitution, preamble, bylaws, you can use the term shall, not will. So my daughter shall inherit the property after my life. That is an example. So legal. Okay. So these are some of the things I would like to discuss with you. And I have few announcements to make. Now we have come to, I don't like to prolong any further, and I would like to take some questions from you in case you have something to ask me. Meanwhile, I would like to make a few announcements. Annual Educational English Academy is situated in Trivandrum. We have been in the field of, providing English language to all learners in many countries, right from 1997. Right now, we are in Kerala and Trivandrum, and we teach teachers, students, and working men and women, and those who intend to do TOEFL, IELTS, and OET exams as well. So we have both online and direct classes. And it's in case if you are interested in contacting us or in getting our services further, you may contact our coordinator. His name is, I think he was online short while ago, Mr. M.K. Thomas, coordinator, M.K. Thomas, coordinator, and his telephone number 944 747 1496. I repeat, Mr. M.K. Thomas, coordinator, available on 944 747 1496. In case you want to know more about us, you can contact him either on WhatsApp or call him straight. And a couple of days ago, we conducted a public speaking contest. We offered about 10,000 rupees. And the topic was, why am I a Christian? And 2 girls and 1 boy, were selected for the first, second, and third positions. It was a wonderful occasion for many of us. And we hope that you will continue to work hard, make your presence felt. Don't be like anybody else. Be what you are, with available resources, with your upbringing, with the support of the church and your parents. I request all of you to take maximum advantage of the Bible and lead a meaningful life. Even if you go abroad, please do come back with the knowledge and with the qualification. Try to do something here in India, because this is where your future lies. Okay, thank you very much. And now I think, Doctor, can I spend some time with them, taking their questions if they have any?
Yes, please.
Yes, open to you. You may ask me questions one by one. Go ahead, please. You open your audio, unmute, and then talk to me, and then close down. Jaldi, తొందరగా కావాలన్నమాట, టైం లేదు. ఓకే, అడగండి, మీరు మాట్లాడండి. క్వశ్చన్స్ చూసుకోవచ్చు మీరు. యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ మీ questions, queries. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, ask me. Teachers, students, employees, parents, no problem. This is open for. Talk. Don't feel shy. Jo dar gaya wo mar gaye le. That's why I often repeat the Hindi line. Ante, you have to ask me questions.
Please ask questions.
Yeah, maybe academic questions. Maybe you are in grade 10, English grammar. Adagandi meer. Questions should ask. You ask me questions. Yeah, it's an opportunity. You have about more than 110 students now attending. Okay, please. It's a rare platform for you, because the church is arranging, CSI church is arranging that rare platform for you. This is an opportunity to take extra mileage out of that. You ask me any questions with regard to your career, grammar, or civil service examination, or learning language, through the Bible, or without the Bible, or the steps you have to take in the days ahead. Yes, from Trichy, Tanjo. Yeah, Joshua, Snekha, Vanilla.
One question is from the chat box.
Yeah.
How to make a sentence with the shall for the promise?
Okay.
Narain from Kanyakumari diocese.
Okay, man. Yes, shall, promise. Imagine, yeah, but that's exactly what we have discussed. Imagine that maybe you have a younger brother or a sister. He is crying. Why are you crying? Why? You may, oh, I don't have a toy. Toys okay, then you can say, I shall buy you one. It's a promise. I shall buy you one. That's a promise. And your father, for example, you don't have an iPhone. It's pretty costly. Okay. So you want to buy it because your rich friend may have one. So you want to buy one iPhone. It's very costly. And you ask your father, Father, look, I want an iPhone. The father says, look, I don't have much money now. Maybe next month. And if you score, or if you come first in the class, not the topper, if you come first in your class, I shall buy you a mobile phone next year. I shall buy you a mobile phone. That's a promise. Okay, right. Next, other questions, please.
Sir, please explain the difference between interrogative sentence and declarative sentence.
Yes.
By Rena David from
Okay.
Okay,
Malay, right. Interrogation means questioning. A question. Where are you from? What's your name? How much do you pay? That's interrogation, questions. Declarative means statement. Yes, I have a brother. I am in grade 8. My father is a teacher. My mother is an engineer. That's declarative. Declarative means statement. Interrogative means questions. Whenever you make question words like what, when, WH, what, when, why, where, how, etc. Am I clear? Right. Next. Yeah, come on. Time and tide waits for nobody. Jaldi. Tondaraga adugandi. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. Okay. Session spelling. Session cut session SESSION and you must take care of your spelling because you are all Christian students. You must not be lagging behind. You are not, you are all winners. Okay, next, what is the main difference between shall and will, sir? In modern English, let me answer the question. Shall and will have no difference at all. Shall and will. But shall can be educated people. Chala, those who know more about language will use shall carefully. Shall will have future meaning only when it is used with the I and we. I will go to Canada, meaning I shall go to Canada. We will buy the car. We shall buy the car. No difference. Okay, will and shall. But shall has some specific areas. Those are the areas I said. One, suggestions. Shall we have a break? Shall I ask you a question? Shall I have a cup of water? Shall I talk to the principal? Shall I read out? That's question. Second is prediction. Okay, the 2025 shall be the most prosperous year. Next command, order, and determination, like you shall not steal. That's in the Bible. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet. Okay. Nobody shall use the mobile telephone until the exam is over. Shall, order. Then threat, you shall regret. Tum pachtaoge Thakur. That's what I said. Okay. Then promise. Okay. Then legal tone, shall. Legal tone. When you write the document, when you write a bylaw, when you write the constitution preamble, you use a shall. Even I think on your legal tender 100 or 500 legal tender note, you say the bearer shall. It's an order given by the governor, Reserve Bank governor, shall. Okay, thank you. Next. So which version of the Bible helps us improving our English? I am an old guy, so I would recommend KJV, King James version. I relish it. I enjoy every bit of it. That is the difference. At the beginning of my speech or lecture, I told you, cast your net on the right. In modern version, you say throw your net. That's the difference. Cast your net and throw your net. इसमें फर्क है. That is the difference. Okay. And in maybe when the woman with a bad character was brought to Jesus, he said, go, don't commit any more sin. And Allah, that's not what Jesus said. He said, go and sin no more. Neither do I condemn thee. I also don't find fault with you. That's not what he said. Neither do I condemn thee. Sin no more. Thank you. Next.
I think it is time for to close.
Close. Okay, explain once again the metaphor. Okay, metaphor means if you think something is the same, not like. For example, you are the salt. You are the salt. Means you are salt. Not you are like salt. You are like salt means that is simile. I hope it's clear. Okay, over to you, sir, doctor.
Thank you, sir.